Luke chapter 17. Jesus spoke to his disciples. Things that make people sin are sure to come. He said, but how terrible it will be for anyone who causes those things to come. Suppose people lead one of these little ones to sin. It would be better for those people to be thrown into the sea with a millstone tied around their neck. So watch what you do. If your brother or sister sins against you, tell them they're wrong. That if they turn away from their sins, forgive them. Suppose they sin against you 7 times in one day, and suppose they come back to you each time and say, I'm sorry, you must forgive them. The apostle said to the Lord, give us more faith. He replied, suppose you have faith as small as mustard seed, that you can say to this mulberry tree, be pulled up, be planted in the sea, and it will obey you. Suppose one of you has a servant plowing or looking after the sheep, and suppose the servant came in from the field. Will you say to him, come along now and sit down to eat? No, instead you will say, prepare my supper, get yourself ready, wait on me while I eat and drink, and after that you can eat and drink. Will you thank the servant because he did what he was told to do? It's the same with you. Suppose you have done everything you were told to do. Then you should say, we are not worthy to serve you. We have only done our duty. Jesus was on his way to Jerusalem. He traveled along the border between Samaria and Galilee, and he was going into a village. 10 men met him. They had a skin disease. They were standing close by, and they called out in a loud voice, Jesus, Master, have pity on us. Jesus saw them and said, go, show yourself to the priest. While they were on the way, they were healed. When one of them saw that he was healed, he came back. He praised God in a loud voice. He threw himself at Jesus' feet and thanked him. The man was a Samaritan. Jesus asked, were not all 10 healed? Where are the other 9? Did anyone else return and give praise to God except this outsider? Then Jesus said to him, get up and go. Your faith has healed you. Once the Pharisees asked Jesus when God's kingdom would come. He replied, the coming of God's kingdom is not something you can see. People will not say, here it is, or there it is. That's because God's kingdom is among you. Then Jesus spoke to his disciples. The time is coming, he said, when you will long to see one of the days of the Son of Man, but you won't see it. People will tell you, there he is, or here he is. Don't go running off after them. When the Son of Man comes, it will be like the lightning. It flashes and lights up the sky from one end to the other. But first, the Son of Man must suffer many things. He will not be accepted by the people of today. Remember how it was in the days of Noah. It will be the same when the Son of Man comes. People were eating and drinking, they were getting married, they were giving their daughters to be married. They did all the things right up to the day Noah entered the ark. Then the flood came and destroyed them all. It was the same in the days of Lot. People were eating and drinking, they were buying and selling, they were planning and building. On the day Lot left Sodom, fire and sulfur rained down from heaven, and all the people were destroyed. It will be just like that on the day the Son of Man is shown to the world. Suppose someone is on the housetop on that day, and suppose what they own is inside the house. They should not go down to get what they own. No one in the field should go back for anything either. Remember Lot's wife. Whoever tries to keep their life will lose it. Whoever loses their life will keep it. I tell you, on that night, 2 people will be in one bed. One person will be taken and the other left. 2 women will be grinding grain together. One will be taken and the other left. Where, Lord? His disciples asked. He replied, the vultures will gather where there is a dead body. Luke chapter 18. Jesus told his disciples a story. He wanted to show them that they should always pray and not give up. He said, in a certain town there was a judge. He didn't have any respect for God or care about what people thought. A widow lived in that town. She came to the judge again and again. She kept begging him, make things right for me. Someone is treating me badly. For some time the judge refused. But finally he said to himself, I don't have any respect for God. I don't care about what people think, but this widow keeps bothering me. So I will see that things are made right for her. If I don't, she will someday come and attack me. The Lord said, listen to what the unfair judge says. God's chosen people cry out to him day and night. Won't he make things right for them? Will he keep putting them off? I tell you, God will see that things are made right for them. He will make sure it happens quickly. But when the Son of Man comes, will he find people on earth who have faith? Jesus told the story to some people who were sure they were right with God. They looked down on everyone else. He said to them, 2 men went up to the temple to pray. One was a Pharisee, the other was a tax collector. The Pharisee stood by himself and prayed, God, I thank you that I'm not like other people. He said, I'm not like robbers or those who do not other evil things. I'm not like those who commit adultery. I'm not even like this tax collector. I fast twice a week, and I give a tenth of all I get. But the tax collector stood farther away than the Pharisee. He would not even look up to heaven. He brought his hand to his heart and prayed. He said, God, have mercy on me. I'm a sinner. I tell you, the tax collector went home accepted by God, but not the Pharisee, or those who lift themselves up will be made humble, and those who make themselves humble will be lifted up. People were also bringing babies to Jesus. They want him to place his hands on the babies. When the disciples saw this, they told the people to stop. But Jesus asked the children to come to him. Let the little children come to me, he said. Don't keep them away. God's kingdom belongs to people like that. What I'm about to tell you is true. Anyone who will not receive God's kingdom like a little child will never enter it. A certain ruler asked Jesus a question. Good teacher, he said, what must I do to receive eternal life? Why do you call me good? Jesus answered, no one is good except God. You know what the commandment says. Do not commit adultery. Do not commit murder. Do not steal. Do not be a false witness. Honor your father and mother. I have obeyed all those commandments since I was a boy, the ruler said. When Jesus heard this, he said to him, you are still missing one thing. Sell everything you have. Give the money to those who are poor. You will have a treasure in heaven, and then come and follow me. When the ruler heard this, he became very sad. He was very rich. Just looked at him. Then he said, how hard it is for rich people to enter God's kingdom. Is it hard for a camel to go through the eye of a needle? It is even harder for someone who is rich to enter God's kingdom. Those who heard this asked, then who can be saved? Jesus replied, things that are impossible with people are possible with God. Peter said to him, we have left everything we had in order to follow you. What I'm about to tell you is true. Jesus said to them, has anyone left home or wife or husband or brothers or sisters or parents or children for God's kingdom? They will receive many times as much in this world. In the world to come, they will receive eternal life. Jesus took the 12 disciples to one side. He told them, we're going up to Jerusalem. Everything that the prophets wrote about the Son of Man will come true. He will be handed over to the Gentiles. They will make fun of him. They will laugh at him and spit on him. They will whip him and kill him. On the third day, he will rise from the dead. The disciples did not understand any of this. Its meaning was hidden from them, so they didn't know what Jesus was talking about. Jesus was approaching Jericho. A blind man was sitting by the side of the road begging. The blind man heard the crowd going by. He asked what was happening. They told him, Jesus of Nazareth is passing by. So the blind man called out, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. Those who led the way commanded him to stop. They told him to be quiet, but he shouted even louder, Son of David, have mercy on me. Jesus stopped and ordered the man to be brought to him. When the man came near, Jesus spoke to him. What do you want me to do for you? Jesus asked, Lord, I want to be able to see. The blind man replied. Jesus said to him, receive your sight. Your faith has healed you. Right away, he could see. He followed Jesus, praising God. When all the people saw it, they also praised God.